Hello, my name is Russell Beeson. I've been a member of the Rhododendron Camellia Magnolia group for about 15 years. Now, many people think, I believe, that you can only grow rhododendrons successfully in a big woodland garden. Well, I'm the living proof that that's not true. In my little garden here, about a third of an acre near Poole, I grow hundreds of different rhododendrons and all sorts of other interesting plants. I cram them in, I disobey all the rules, but it's all great fun. And to give you some idea of the variety that we have here. I'd like to show you a few of my favourite rhododendrons which happen to be out now in May, and hopefully we can see them between the thunder showers today. This is a wonderful, quite old hybrid called Winsome, very popular, very tough, very easy to grow. It originated at the famous gardens at Bodnant in North Wales. I just love that soft red colour, and the foliage is pretty good as well. So that's an excellent shrub for anybody. This is a big specimen, but they're very successful even as quite small shrubs as well. This one's called Rhododendron Cynofalconeri, and it's a good example of the smaller flowered rhododendrons. You don't have to have big flowers to create an impact. You can have small flowers, but as in this case, there are lots and lots of them. So Rhododendron Cynofalconeri, as the name suggests, comes from Yunnan, where I was lucky enough to see it in the wild a few years ago. My third example is a rhododendron called Cynofalconeri. And the reason I'm showing you this is what we call a large-leafed rhododendron. And above all, these are the plants which you're not supposed to grow in small gardens, because these develop into sizable trees. But I do like to break the rules, and I think this is a great plant for a small garden, because the leaves are fantastic and these beautiful yellow flowers. This is a plant from Vietnam, which was grown from seed about 10 years ago, started flowering last year. And the idea is it will grow up and give space underneath to grow smaller plants. My next example is this one called Charlotte de Rothschild, and as the name implies, this is one of the many wonderful hybrids which originated at the famous Exbury Gardens. And this is again a super easy plant, that's my experience anyway, and it has these huge pink flowers which I think are just so spectacular. It's growing almost within the roots of this big pine tree, which again you shouldn't really do, but why not when you get a result like that. Well, from the big blousy rhododendrons, I wanted to show something much more suitable for either a small garden or a rock garden. And this is a true Alpine rhododendron. It's actually a hybrid called Sarled, but it's very close to some of the wild rhododendrons you would see in the Himalayan mountains. And I like the tubular flowers, which are most unusual, almost look like the flowers of a daphne. So that's Sarled. Right, beside my back door I grow quite a lot of what are called Madenia kind of rhododendrons, which are the slightly tender forms, which sometimes need a bit of protection in the winter. At the moment this is my favourite. It's called Mi Amor, and it's a hybrid of Rhododendron Nuttallii with Rhododendron Lindleyi, and it has these colossal flowers with a wonderful sweet perfume. It's a very leggy, badly formed plant, but you just grow it for the flowers and the leaves. Well, my final one I'd like to show you today is something completely different, because this is not a hardy rhododendron in any sense. This is one of the tropical rhododendrons which are called Vireas, and these have to be kept in a warm not a warm greenhouse, but a slightly heated greenhouse over the winter. But the thing about these tropical rhododendrons is the amazing exotic colour which you never get in a hardy rhododendron, that mixture of pink and yellow in one flower. And the other thing is, being tropical, they're not seasonal plants, so this carries on flowering for months on end. So these are something which are really interesting and a little bit different. One of the things about these tropical rhododendrons is that most of them are very sweetly scented. Now, in a hardy rhododendron of a pink persuasion, you would very rarely get a scent, but this one is very sweetly scented. It's just a pity you can't get it on the film. Well, so those are a few of the sort of things which are in flower now in May, but I wouldn't like you to think, May is the only season. The peak is April and May, of course, for rhododendrons, but I have flowers on rhododendrons every single month of the year in this garden, whether they're in the greenhouse or outside. Now, one of the things I do is a lot of propagation from seed and cuttings. And how do you find out how to do it? Well, the way to do it is to join the Rhododendron Camellia Magnolia group, because it's full of expert people. They're a very friendly bunch, and if you join, you'll find out all about them, you'll visit wonderful gardens, and you'll make a lot of friends.